Hello. Before we get started here, I just want to let you know it may be a little hard to see the flat screen behind me, but I'll do my best to stay out of the way and hold any questions for till the end. All right. Today I'm going to be doing a report presentation on a needs and cost analysis of holding a 5S event at Clinical Engineering Department at Gunderson Health System here in La Crosse. Now, I'll try to keep it as not technical as I can, but given the given this report, at times it may be a little jargony, but I'll do my best to keep it straight for you. A little bit about myself. My name is Vincent Wrobel. I'm currently a biomed technology and electronics student here at Western Technical College. I've held plenty of 5S events in my experience at Dynamic Recycling as a department and IT manager. I've also attended lean manufacturing training right here at Western. That covers, I believe it was a 5-part course. Well, enough about me. Let's get on to the goods. This report details the needs and benefits associated by eliminating waste from the Clinical Engineering Department at Gunderson Health. It expands on how improvement in these areas will reduce labor, maintenance, and expenditures, as well as increase productivity, customer satisfaction, and turnaround time. A summary of expected outcomes and common market practices is also included and provides some supporting documentation at the end of the presentation. I'll start off today describing what some of the basics are of a 5S event. You may be asking yourself, what the heck's a 5S event? For those not familiar with lean manufacturing or Six Sigma principles, 5S events help reduce waste. By sorting, which is pretty much picking up an area, storage, which is organizing and setting everything into place. Sorry, let me get on the right side here. Sorting, storage, shining, standardized, sustaining, and safety. Basically, these 5 S's, actually there's 6 there. Safety is the optional S, also referred to as the 6th S. But for the most part, it includes picking up the area, organizing it, cleaning it, standardizing it, and then putting in place training and documentation and discipline to follow up on it to make sure that it doesn't go back to the way it was beforehand. And safety. Clean work area is a safe work area. That was one of my favorite lines in my old job, and I still believe it today. Very useful. Now, what you can accomplish with these 5 S's in your workplace is making it more visual, so you can walk into a room and know what's supposed to be there and what isn't supposed to be there. Reduces waste. There's 7 forms of waste in the lean manufacturing principle, or the Toyota production system, or Six Sigma. They all basically revolve around similar principles, and one of the biggest ones is reducing waste. There's 7 forms of waste we're going to include in our report here today, which include correction, overproduction, processing, conveyance, inventory, motion, and waiting. Now, I'm not going to get into full technical terms about each one of these, but they're all forms of waste, whether you're waiting for a product or motion from walking around trying to find the right tool because it's not, somebody didn't put it back in its right place, to inventory, which is may be keeping more extra parts on hand that we need so we have them instead of just ordering them as we need them and pulling them. Conveyance is how long does it take for the part to get here when I order it? Those are all forms of waste, as well as overproducing, doing more work than is necessary. Please bear with me as I... Now, every 5S event may have a leader or coordinator, but there's a few key terms you have to keep in mind when holding a Kaizen or 5S event to make sure you keep track of. One person should act as a mediator. Now, this person isn't the boss. They're not the, I said it, do it this way, or not the final say. Everyone participating in the event has an equal say and an equal vote in what the outcomes are. You know, these events should be fun and rewarding and gives all the participants involved a chance to change the company and put their best ideas forward and be recognized for them. I've found them to be very rewarding and try to keep them as fun and upbeat as possible because it takes everybody from top management to the guy doing all the work to the janitor at the end. It's a complete process and everybody's input needs to be taken in order to do it correctly. There's going to be two areas of interest for the events we're going to talk about here today. They are the test equipment area and the service operator's manual storage area. Those two areas have been identified through key interviews and just aesthetically you can look into the area and see the waste. In our test equipment area, the area is an eyesore and constantly overflowing with equipment and poses potential safety hazards from equipment out of place, not being where it's supposed to. By following the suggested recommendations I'm about ready to list, will reduce the time needed to find the correct equipment, thus reducing waste in motion, waste of waiting, waste of conveyance, and waste of correction. Alright, test equipment area. As you can see here, I've labeled a few suggestions down for the test equipment area, including create a designed designated area and tape outlines for the test equipment. This way, if we can designate the area it's supposed to be in and we tape it along the floor and not allow any of the other equipment to get in there, should always be where it's supposed to be, and we'll be able to find it when we need it. We'll create an overflow work area for undesignated equipment or overflow equipment. This space we'll be able to use from our second event. We'll talk more about later. We'll have the creation of a shadow board for small test equipment, which is basically a pegboard with an outline or a shadow of the designated tool and where it belongs. And we'll also color code our test equipment with tape and color the shadow board so they match. So not only will we be able to see if any tools are missing, we'll be able to tell which types of tools are missing. The second area is our service and operator's manual storage area. I have quite a bit of jargonized lingo up here, but I'll do my best to bring it down a little bit for you. Step one is to reorganize and standardize the guidelines for current digital manual storage by classification of equipment and manufacturer. Basically, what that's doing is we have an online database of all the new manuals that come in with any new equipment that's sold, and they're all stored online so they can be brought up by any device, tablet, computer, laptop, phone, and we can view those manuals needed for repair. Now that system isn't standardized, so sometimes they're not labeled correctly when they're put in there. This is just describing creating a process to make sure that it's done the same way every time. Step two is create a process for new hospital equipment manuals to be added to the digital system. That just means when a new item comes in, when is it done? When is this added to the database and such? Step three is to create a plan of action for digitizing these and converting the manuals from different media formats now. Currently, we have two 10-foot bookshelves full of manuals in every sort of media. There's boxes of CDs and discs to paper manuals to file cabinets located all throughout the shop. What really needs to be done is these all need to be scanned in and labeled accordingly, so in the future, no matter what machine you have, you can locate them through our online database and eliminate the need for walking around trying to locate manuals, finding them on other people's desks or in the wrong shelves or not stored properly. This is a large form of waste that's currently happening that we can eliminate by this event. The required resources, what do we need to get this job done? Now, our test equipment area, I broke it down into two categories. We have 32 to 40 hours of clinical engineering labor. This can be done by approximating one day Kaizen event of 4 people for approximately 8 hours. We come up with 32 to 40 hours for this event. And supplies, about $80 to $100 in supplies are needed for tape and pegboard to make the shadow board. In our service operators manual storage area, this is quite a bit larger of a project, and there are more resources required. Pardon me as I required resources for this event should be approximate 160 hours of student intern labor. We have a great resource of student interns more than willing to help out on this project for Gunnarsson. And with 12 students, I believe, over the course of 2 weeks, 160 hours labor isn't nearly as large as it is, and it won't cost the hospital hardly anything at all. 80 to 100 hours of clinical engineering labor. Now this is spread out over several half-day events for the clinical engineering labor, which is mostly directing and informing the students of how to conduct the manual scanning implementation of the new systems. About 10 to 12 hours of IT labor. This is just to coordinate with IT and add extra hard drives to the current database for data storage, and go over redundancy systems of backup for this data in case of catastrophic loss. And also $400 in IT resources. These are the costs for the extra hardware needed to do this, basically 2 hard drives. Event materials. Some of the event materials we'll be going over on is the Kaizen Event Implementation Manual, which will accompany all of us as we go to do our event, as well as a 5S evaluation and scoring guide, which you can see I have up here. It is a little hard to read, but everybody will be given full documents of this page, and it is included in the report if you need to find it later. Keep in mind, no 2 events are ever the same, and remember, this is supposed to be fun. It's a way for you to get recognized for your ideas, and if you think we can do something a little bit better or have a better way of doing it, this is the perfect time to bring that out. And remember, have a great event. Thank you.